Good morning, amazing kids of God! Kumusta? I am Teacher Myra at ngayon natutuwa ako na makasama namin kayo, pero bago ang lahat, atin munang balikan ang ating tinalakay last weekend sa ating kids church. Okay kids, patungkol nga ulit saan ang ating pinag-usapan sa ating kids church last Sunday? Tama, very good. It's all about how Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead. And oops, hindi pa doon natatapos ang lahat. Naalala nyo ba kung ano ang ating memory verse last time? Sabi doon, in Mark chapter 10 verse 27 says, Jesus looked at them and said, with man this is impossible, but not with God, all things are possible with God. So very good, amazing kids of God. Kaya dalangin ko na lahat tayo ay natuto at nasihan mula sa ating tema last month, which is the I appreciate you. Pati na din sa bawat Bible story na ating napakinggan at natututunan. Dito mas lalalim tayo, mas makikilala natin at mas titibay ang ating pananampalataya kay Jesus Christ. Okay, again, this is Teacher Myra. Again, this is Teacher Myra. God bless, amazing kids of God.
My life down at your feet. You're the only one I need. I turn to you and you are always there. In troubled times it's you I see. I put you first, that's all I need. I humble all I am, all to you. Yesterday, today, the same. Forever till forever means no way. One way, Jesus, you're the only one that I could live for. One way, Jesus, you're the only one that I could live for. One way, Jesus, you're the only one that I could live for. One way, Jesus, you're the only one that I could live for. Are you having fun? Well, what we're going to do now is we're all going to get down nice and low. That's it, how low can you go? And we're going to sing, you are the way, the truth and the life. Come on, let me hear you. You are the way, the truth and the life. We live by faith and not by sight for you. We're living all for you. Up a bit higher. You are the way, the truth and the life. We live by faith and not by sight for you. We're living all for you. You are the way. You are the way, the truth and the life. We live by faith and not by sight for you. We're living all for you. You are the way, the truth and the life. We live by faith and not by sight for you. We're living all for you. One way, Jesus, you're the only one that I could live for. One way, Jesus, you're the only one that I could live for. One way, Jesus, you're the only one that I could live for. One way, Jesus, you're the only one that I could
Abraham offers Isaac. After God gave Abraham a son, God asked him to do something that was harder than anything he had ever done before. If Abraham obeyed God's instructions, it would show that he had learned to trust God with all his heart. God called to Abraham to tell him what to do. "Abraham," God called. "Here I am," Abraham replied. "I want you to take your only son Isaac, whom you love, to Moriah," God instructed. "I will guide you to a mountain where I want you to sacrifice him as a burnt offering." Abraham could have replied, "What? Are you crazy? I'm not doing that." But he did not say anything like that. Instead, he got up early the next morning, saddled his donkey, split the wood for the burnt offering, and left for Moriah with Isaac and 2 servants. Abraham also took the wood, a knife, some fire, and some food. It took Abraham 3 days to get to Moriah. While he rested each night, he would have looked up at the countless stars in the sky. Those stars would have reminded Abraham of God's promise to make Abraham's descendants through his son Isaac as countless as the stars in the sky. Abraham believed God would somehow keep his promise. On the last day of the journey, Abraham spotted God's chosen mountain in the distance. He said to the 2 servants, "Wait here while Isaac and I go on to worship, and then we will return." Abraham was confident that he would come back down the mountain with Isaac. He knew God was somehow going to provide. Abraham laid the wood for the sacrifice on Isaac to carry, and took the fire and the knife in his own hands. This made Isaac wonder. "Father," he asked, "we have the fire and the wood, but where's the lamb for the sacrifice?" Abraham didn't tell Isaac that he was the sacrifice. Instead, he said, "My son, God will provide a lamb for a burnt offering." His father's answer satisfied Isaac, and they went up the mountain together. There, Abraham built an altar for the sacrifice and arranged the wood on the altar. Then Abraham turned to Isaac and tied his hands and feet together and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. Isaac knew for sure that he was the sacrifice. We don't know if he said anything to his father, and we don't know how he felt. But he must have been frightened as he saw his father raise the knife to kill him. As Isaac braced for the blow from the knife that would end his life, the angel of the Lord cried out, "Abraham, Abraham!" Abraham lowered the knife to his side and responded, "Here I am." He knew God was talking to him. God told Abraham not to harm his son. "I know you respect me because you didn't withhold your only son from me," God said. God was pleased with Abraham's obedience. Just then, Abraham saw a ram with its horns caught in a thicket. The ram was stuck and couldn't run away. Abraham knew God had provided the ram to take Isaac's place on the altar. He untied Isaac and then loosed the ram from the thicket. Abraham and Isaac rejoiced to have the ram to sacrifice on the altar. Abraham took the ram and sacrificed it instead of Isaac. So Abraham would always remember what God did for him. He called the name of the place, "The Lord Will Provide." And that's exactly what God had done. He provided a substitute to take Isaac's place on the altar. God's angel spoke again to Abraham and told him that all the nations of the earth would be blessed through one of his descendants. That blessing is Jesus Christ. He came to earth and died on the cross for our sins as our substitute. If we trust in Him for salvation, we will be delivered from the penalty for our sins, and we will spend eternity with Jesus in heaven.